Yo, guys, it's your boy Bernard, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week. I've just tried to record this podcast 5 times. Great. I don't know what's going on with my microphone. My computer is acting stupid because of a software update or what, but let's just go ahead and get into it. I got to give a rest in peace to Anthony Stewart Heed. A majority of us may know him from playing Giles on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He passed away at the age of 72. I believe it was complications of pneumonia. I am going to double check this. He was also on Ted Lasso, Merlin as well. He was on the TV show Little Britain. He was also on Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, and the movie Repo, the Genetic Opera. So yeah, he died from complications of pneumonia. Sarah Michelle Gellar, David Boreanaz, James Marster, Charisma Carpenter, and Emma Caulfield all paid tributes to him, as well as Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso. Yeah, he passed away on June 5th. I also have to give a rest in peace to Peabo Bryson, who is a singer, won 2 Grammys. A lot of people in my age demographic may know him for singing the duets with Celine Dion for Beauty and the Beast and Regina Belle for A Whole New World for the movie. The movie's Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. And he passed away on June 2nd as well from the at the age of 75. Check that. Yes. And he actually passed away from complications from having a stroke on May 31st. I actually saw that on Facebook because I am drawing a blank on her name. Stephanie Mills sent out some prayers to him when the news came out that he suffered a stroke. Yeah, I got to give a rest in peace to both of them. I'm probably gonna scrap a lot of the stuff or just like speed run through this stuff because, like I said, I recorded this episode earlier in the day. Recorded for like an hour, and the levels were looking good and everything. And for some reason, it didn't like pick up. So hopefully, it picks up this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the PlayStation State of Play and talk about the games that caught my eye. So Control Resonant is one that I never played any of the Control games. I believe this is the second one. But that'll be coming out on September 24th. So Remedy, who was the developer of the game, put out a new story trailer that offered a deep look into the world no longer bound by the rules we understand. And apparently Manhattan is warped by paranatural forces. Its architecture is impossible. Its reality shifting. Its streets are stalked by monstrous entities. And the character you're playing with is Dylan. So he has to master his evolving abilities and raw power of his shape-shifting weapon, which is called the Arborant. So I got to play the first Control. I have it on PlayStation Plus. I just never installed it. Another game that I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but the option is there, and that's Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered. That'll be coming out on October 1st. I like a game where you basically just have to fight your way through like a crap ton of enemies. And I don't really get that many of those. The last one I played wasn't really enemies because it's a zombie game, Days Gone. So I might get Dynasty Warriors 3. I don't know yet. Fighting games. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls revealed 3 new characters, and that's Magneto, Carnage, and Green Goblin. They're actually going to be part of the Knights of Doom, which is supposed to have some type of impact on the game's episode mode, which I think is just story mode. Don't know why they call it episode mode, but it is what it is. Rayman Legends Retold. I went into a nice heartfelt story about how Rayman was like one of the first games I borrowed from somebody on PS1. I think it was 7th or 8th grade. I had a friend named Billy Zieta. I really wonder whatever happened to Billy. So if anybody finds him, send him this video. Billy, it's your boy Bernard. We went to bare metal together. You let me borrow Rayman. They're remaking Rayman from the beginning, and Rayman is actually going to speak. I haven't played a Rayman game in a good minute, so I don't know if Rayman has been talking in these past like 10 years since I played a Rayman game. Because I think the last one I played was it called Rayman Legends? I don't remember, but this is a remake of the first Rayman game, and this will be out on October 1st. So that actually looks good. Another game that looks good is Stuntman Hollywood. So, Stuntman was originally, I believe, it was on PS2. It was basically like the car version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. You do stunts and whatnot, and you have to like hit certain markers because you're doing stunts for movies and TV shows. Like the trailer showed, like the uh, the train scene from the first Fast and Furious. They showed Kit from Knight Rider, um, and the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So this actually looks good. I don't believe the game has a release date, but each film is split into episodes, and each episode is a unique level with its own vehicle and specific gameplay twist. So I will definitely be checking that out. And I'm not one to really play race car games or games that involve like driving unless it's like GTA or something like that. But I'm gonna check out Stuntman. All right, we got Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis. So this is the first remake of the original Tomb Raider. What quadrilogy? How many were there? Were there four or five? Might have been six for all I know. I don't remember. But this is going to be the first ground up remake, and this will be coming out on February 12th. So looks good. Maybe I can finally beat those games because I don't remember if I ever played the first one. The second one I played, I ended up in that cave with the tiger and never got out of it. All right, so we're going to talk about the two games that basically stole the state of play. Wolverine, we got an extended gameplay trailer and it looks good. There are several other details that went into Wolverine that Insomniac told us about. So, mutants do exist, if you didn't know, but the X-Men are not a thing. So that's one thing that like kind of threw everybody off. Um, Logan is part of Team X, which is a group of mutants. Which is a group who save mutants around the world. If you are a very squeamish individual and don't like to see blood and guts and gore and all that in all your video games, they will have a low gore path in the settings. And Mystique, Sabretooth, Jean Grey, and Omega Red all show up in the game with more X-Men characters under wraps. Insomniac also said that Wolverine can die in the game. So he dies when his heart stops and his healing factor can no longer activate. And that's represented by his health bar. So in order to maintain your health, you must be aggressive in combat. So everybody saw that and they got mad. I'm like, why do you want to get mad? There's never going to be a video game where a character is invincible. So like there needs to be stakes and like, like let's just say you walk away from the controller and you forget to pause the game in the middle of an ambush or a shootout or a fight. The character's gonna die. Wolverine has to die. And like one of the other things that I saw that made me mad, it was just like, really, why are y'all nitpicking over this of all things? Wolverine's suit regenerates when his health regenerates. There's code in games, okay, that once you do XYZ, ABC is going to happen. So if you heal yourself, your suit's obviously going to heal yourself because that's how the code is written. Even X-Men Origins Wolverine, his tank top would like regenerate in his pants because they're not going to have Wolverine's meat flopping around in the game. And that's just kind of what it seemed like. Y'all are just like a bunch of weird, like freaky fanboys who want to see Wolverine's meat. Good grief. It's like, why? But once again, that will be out on September 15th. I went into a whole rant about if Insomniac does a deluxe version of this game, a deluxe physical, because there is a deluxe digital, and it comes with a statue. It better actually come with a disc because of the whole Spider-Man 2 situation. It's like, why would you offer me a steelbook with no actual physical disc to put in the steelbook? Make that make sense. Yeah, the Venom statue was cool, but it was literally the Venom statue, all the deluxe upgrades, a digital code for the game with the deluxe upgrades, and a steelbook. Like, why? That's why I didn't buy Ghost of Yote. They had like a very awesome like deluxe edition from PlayStation, and it didn't come with this. That's why at least I'm glad like 007 First Light came with the actual disc in a steelbook and like the standard case. But yeah, like these video game companies, they just like to cut corners on stuff. But yeah, so September 15th with that, I'm just gonna hang back, see if they announce a deluxe or whatever before I get it. Okay, so the game that like really made all the incels mad, we're getting a side game for God of War, and that's God of War Laufey. So if you recall, in the first game, Atreus' mom, Faye, passed away. Kratos and Atreus go about, standard Viking Norse funeral, and they burn her body. So this game shows what happened to Laufey when her body was burned. So she ends up in the afterlife, and there's a bunch of gods and people uh, fighting for control of the magic in the afterlife. So there was no release date on this. All we know is Deborah Ann Walls providing the mocap and the voice for Faye. I don't think she did for God of War or Ragnarok. I would have to double check that. And Jack Quaid is in it, and he is playing a gelatinous cube, which is very weird. But Jack Quaid likes to like do like weird things like that. Like check out Companion or his role in Heads of State. So yeah, those were the games that caught my eye for the state of play. And the creator of God of War, David Jaffe, he's basically crashing out. He's like, "Oh, the game looks horrible." I'm just like, "What are you talking about? It does not look horrible. It looks up to par with 2018 God of War and God of War Ragnarok." So I'm gonna go to what he said. Yeah, he said it was uninspired and dull. So he said it looks like shit. I'm going to be honest with you. It reminds me of Forspoken a little bit. He said that the game is not going to do well for what they expected to do. And he is complaining that the series has moved too far away from what made God of War work in the first place. You lost the gore and the violence that made the first game. You lost the character. You lost him in 2018 because he changed so much. He wasn't the same character anymore. And you lost me with that cube and that little Disney character at the beginning. This just seems like fantasy. God of War has always been fantasy. I guess you missed the plot of what you originally did. But yeah, so like he is also he went on like a whole like rant. He's like, for a lot of fans, God of War means Kratos, period. They don't want a cosmic cube sidekick. They don't want a lighter fantasy tone. They don't want what looks to them like Sony chasing the same minor franchise playbook where the male icon gets pushed aside while a female lead takes over. This is literally a side game. So I'm just like, good grief, man. Go touch some grass. But the director of this game, Ariel, Ariel something, Ariel Lawrence, she said, "I'm thankful for the people who care, and whether or not they care, they're upset, or they think they should be, or they think they should do something that's different. I would rather they care. So we're arms open, ready to show them Faye's journey and have them fall in love with her like we have. I understand that everyone's reservations and hesitations. Um, Everyone has reservations and hesitations, and I know that comes from a good place. They have been on this journey with Kratos as long as I have, and that means something to them. We're not leaving anybody behind. We've got more Kratos coming." So yeah, once again, this is a side game. I actually saw somebody complaining about this on Twitter, a person of color like me. And I was like, dude, you sound like the people who were complaining about Miles Morales getting his own game. Like Kratos isn't going anywhere. He didn't die at the end of Ragnarok. We're obviously getting a third game in this like Norse timeline. So yeah, it's just like, yo, stop bitching about every little thing and just maybe they'll release a demo. You might like it. From what I saw from the gameplay, it looks awesome. And the timeline is it takes place in between uh, 2018's God of War and God of War Ragnarok, because there's a scene where Kratos goes over to the afterlife after his fight with Thor when Thor kills him, like in like the first like half hour of the game. But then he obviously gets pulled back. So yeah, I don't know what to tell people, but here's the W ad because people be dumb. I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to Debbie.gg and use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's Dubby.gg with promo code AngryBlerd10. All right, next story, because it is 1:20 in the morning. Batman Cape Crusader is finally coming back after being gone for 2 years. It will be back on July 31st. And so we got some first looks at the Riddler, another gender bent villain, Mad Hatter. We got Roxy Rocket, who looks like the Rocketeer, like kind of like a bullet though, and Carrie Kelly, dressed as the Great Ghost. So no trailer, just still images, which sucks. I would like to see a trailer. Hopefully there's one that comes out soon, because the show comes out in like 40 something days and we have no trailer. The Mad Hatter being gender bent, why? But the way they did it is like the Mad Hatter is a TV show host, kind of like on some like View stuff, and it's called Hattie's Tea Time. It looks good, but still, it's like the excuse that Batman doesn't have any good women villains is kind of dumb and redundant. It's like you got Harley Quinn there. You could have introduced Poison Ivy. You got Roxy Rocket now. I don't know if they want to introduce the Al Ghul shush yet. Maybe that'll be a season 3 situation. But you got Talia and Nissa Al Ghul. I don't really know all the Batman villains besides the ones that constantly get regurgitated. Hell, pull out some people from like deep cuts. Like you see what the Harley Quinn cartoon did. They made Kite Man a thing. But yeah, so July 31st with that. I'll be checking it out. I don't know if they're gonna do a binge drop like they did with the first season, or if they're gonna switch to weekly. But I will be watching it whenever it comes out. All right, I got some movie news. So Mortal Kombat 2, unfortunately, did not make its money back. So it will be out this coming Tuesday to purchase or rent digitally this June 9th. And the 4K Blu-ray and DVD release will be a month from now. And that'll be July 28th. So they're going to be having like a lot of behind-the-scene features like Mortal Kombat 2 evolving a saga, returning characters, new alliances, and even bigger fatalities. Go behind the scenes to learn all that went into creating the latest chapter in the Mortal Kombat film saga and how the sequel expands the universe to bolder, bloodier heights. There's a sit down with Ed Boon called A Boon to Gamers Everywhere, where he talks about the basically 30 years of Mortal Kombat lore and, between like the films, the games, the comics, and, how all this is built up to this movie. Close quarter combat. Cast members and key creatives share insights into how the stunt preparation, intense fight scenes, and weapons training shape both classic moves and new merciless combat styles. Mortal Kombat 2, Choose Your Fighter. Awaken your arcana as you meet the chaos and explore the brutal weapons, epic costumes, and fierce training that went into bringing their characters to life. So, and the other one is Building the Realms of Mortal Kombat, which is basically like making the sets and the CG and everything like that. So I enjoyed the movie. I don't know if I'll be buying it. I did not buy the first one because, that first one was a horrible movie. This one was basically a rehash of sorts without the Arcana crap. Yeah, so if you haven't watched Mortal Kombat 2, check it out. Like I said, unfortunately, it did not recoup its money back. But I mean, like I told y'all, streaming messed up movies. Like movies, like have to like reallocate like their budgets and go work smaller or something like that if they want to make their money back. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that Mortal Kombat didn't make its money back. It's gonna be one of those movies where like people sleep on it, but then when it hits like streaming or whenever people are able to sell the 7 season pirated, then they'll go see it. Like I was talking to Samir when They Will Kill You came out, and unfortunately that movie did not make its money back. But when it hit streaming, he sold the 7 season and watched it. It's like, oh, that was a good movie. I'm like, yeah, I told you that. You should have went to support it because he'll go see everything that involves lesbians or whatnot, but support a movie with a black woman lead, kind of iffy. But then he tries to pull the crap on me like, well, you didn't go see It's God Is. I'm like, well, I don't really, it is what it is. I had other movies to watch. I had movies to watch for the podcast. Like, perfect example, I'm not reviewing Scary Movie, not because I don't want to. It's just I don't have the time to. If I do it, it's going to be like closer to the end of the month because Scary Movie came out as well as Masters of the Universe. So it's all about priorities. I have to stick to things that more or less the niche of this podcast. And Masters of the Universe is going to trump Scary Movie because sword and sorcery, childhood nostalgia, and magic and shit. And then next week I have Disclosure Day, Aliens, Sci-Fi, Steven Spielberg, and then that. And I might be able to like push it like towards the end of June. So I don't know. A little post editing magic going on here. 2 stories I forgot to talk about. Zack Snyder is doing a remake of Escape from New York. I never saw the original Escape from New York. I know John Carpenter did it. I don't know if John Carpenter's going to have any part in doing this remake, if he's going to be an executive producer or a producer or what. But Zack Snyder's also writing it, and Zack Snyder's not really good at writing. Check out Rebel Moon if you need proof of that. So yeah, I really got to check out Escape from New York and Escape from LA because, oh God, I really hope Zack doesn't shit the bed. And all you Snyder bros, where you at? Because Rebel Moon tanked on Netflix to the point where Netflix ain't really doing much with him anymore. Remember Twilight of the Gods? That was supposed to get a live action version versus just the animated movie or series or whatever it was, but that ain't happening no more. So yeah, Snyder Bros only cared about Zack Snyder when it came to Superman. Also, the other story I forgot to talk about was Superman, Man of Tomorrow. James Gunn posted on social media Lex Luthor's war suit, and the casuals lost their crap. They were like, "Yo, this looks like Buzz Lightyear suit." I'm like, heaven forbid us comic book nerds get something comic book accurate because it looks like it's literally straight ripped out from the comic. The only thing was not any purple on there. It's just like legit green. And I zoomed in on the photo. He has the Argus logo on his suit. So also, where is he? Because he's just like in a field with sand. But they did start filming the movie uh, either like late last week or early this week in Atlanta. And like some people have like been recording behind the scenes stuff. Like somebody caught Nicholas Holt in the Lex suit walking around, and I'm splicing the video here. It's like only 20 seconds or something like that. But somebody also got a photo of like Superman and Lex like fighting in the street in the suit. So um, yeah, I can't wait for that. Anyway, all right, next story is about Stargate, a franchise I never cared about. I never saw the movie with Kurt Russell. Never watched the TV show with damn, I had his name in my head and I lost it. Not Richard Dean Anderson, but Richard Dean Anderson is in it. Jason Momoa, big motherfucker who plays does the Chris Judge. Um, yeah, never watched it. Um, what they had like 2 shows. They had SG1 and Atlantis. So yeah, never watched any of it. But Amazon was gonna bring it back, but then they said, you know what? Nah, we're good, bro. Um, I don't know. The only thing that I got from this report from Variety, which basically was it was going to have a niche audience, and they wanted to appeal more to a broader audience. And they were like, well, this ain't going to work. So let's not even bother to waste money on it. And I'm like, that's just dumb. So instead of like making some money, you're like, no money at all. I don't get people. Sometimes it is what it is, because I'm just like, make that make sense. Next story is in regards to Hasbro. They have launched a new AI studio that lets companies license AI powered versions of its characters. So that's Power Rangers, Transformers. I'm trying to think all of what Hasbro owns. G.I. Joe. But the only stipulation that they put in was that movie and TV projects are not allowed. So you cannot use Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime voice for your commercial for Shake Shack or whatever. I don't know if that even like could. I wonder if that even considers like web shorts or things like that. So I don't know. Are video games considered like they didn't really go into detail about what's off limits per se. Anyway, next story is in regards to Doctor Who. Russell T Davies was doing an interview with BBC Two Radio, and he said that there's a press release coming out soon about the future of Doctor Who, since all these rumors are coming out that the Christmas special is not going to be a Christmas special. It's actually going to become an Easter special. And hopefully we'll get that in about the next 2 weeks or so. Hopefully we do, because I'm getting a little annoyed. We didn't have any Doctor Who, no Christmas specials last year. It's June now, no Doctor Who. Disney, like I said before, scrapped their partnership with the BBC. AMC has picked it up. So now Doctor Who will be on AMC Plus, and I don't think I can get another streaming service to watch Doctor Who. So as much as I love it, I might just have to sell the 7 Seas on that one, because crap is getting expensive and more expensive. All right, so I got my comic previews. Let me grab my iPad real quick. And this is for books that are coming out in August. So another thing I'm going to complain about Marvel, I need you guys to stop releasing super advanced solicits for stuff that's coming up like in September. You have September solicits. It's not like you do solicits like every other month or something like that. Anyway, Boom Studios. I got Power Rangers Green, and this is written by Paul Allor with art by Gustavo Vargas. It's going to be $4.99, 24 pages. Comes out August 5th. So he's the last Power Ranger on Earth, but it doesn't mean he's alone. The world we know is gone. Tommy Oliver has put away his morpher and settled into a quiet life with his strange little family. But one day, an unexpected visitor from his past arrives on his doorstep and challenges him to take up the hero's mantle once more. Can he relive? Can he relive the past with this unexpected ally? Will the Green Ranger finally return? So, the unexpected ally is none other than Goldar, because they did put out a few preview pages for a book that comes out 2 months from now. But I will definitely be checking that out. I have to go to the comic book store and add that to my pull list. All right, that's all I got from Boom. Dynamite. I told y'all about Buffy. Now Angel is coming out, written by Kelly Thompson with art by Julia Giacomo. So it seems like we're doing the same thing from the Angel TV series. All right. So this book is actually going to feature the first appearance of Angel and Buffy's new big bad, Leviathan. It said the once terrifying vampire Angelus was cursed for his crimes with the return of his soul. That soul eventually led him to Sunnydale on a tragic star-crossed affair with Buffy, his vampire-slaying true love. Once the tragedy had run its course, Angel built himself a new life in Los Angeles as a supernatural detective helping the helpless. But things don't always go according to plan, and sometimes you have to go home again. This is that story. So it looks like Angel's probably going to Sunnydale? Don't know. It just says goes home because I believe Angel is Irish or Scottish. I can't remember. Next one from Dark Horse, Gargoyles is coming back, written by series creator Greg Weisman, with art by Geraldo Gambone. So it's 1997. The Manhattan Clan has remembered their calling, being heroes to the helpless on the streets of New York. At the same time, the Gargoyles desperately search for clues to the whereabouts of their missing gargoyle egg. and they must hurry, for an ancient, all-powerful evil has awoken with a score to settle. So, um, I felt like we did this story when Greg Weisman brought Gargoyles back to comics about 3-4 years ago. At this point, I don't know. This isn't a comic book. This is a reprint of a hardcover, and this is the Art of Goosebumps. So $30. It's 200 pages. It basically shows you like how the concept art for all the covers came to be. So I'm definitely going to buy that. That'll probably be a nice coffee table book, or basically I'm going to get another shelf specifically just for like books and like hardcovers and comics and things like that to put next to my Blu-rays. So that'll be like a nice little mini library for me because I have too many books in there taking up space in my room. Like my Avengers coffee table book is there, so on and so forth. All right, I'm done with Dynamite. So this is from Image, and this is The Last Driver. So this is written by Sean Gordon Murphy and Simon Goff, with art by Sean Gordon Murphy. This comes out on August 19th. And the Goosebumps book comes out July 22nd. So late solicit, I guess. August 19th for The Last Driver, and it's going to be $4.99 for 32 pages. So it says, America, the not too distant future, no one knows how to drive except for him. As technology in America advanced, the city begins creating the grid, a robot transportation system that not only made cars obsolete and made them illegal, but an outlaw named Clutch has no choice but to get behind the wheel one more time. What starts out as a race to save his granddaughter's life quickly turns into a rebellion against technology, fascism, and the future of a divided America. So I'm going to be checking that out. If you want to look at Sean Gordon Murphy's art, he did a book with Rick Remender called Tokyo Ghost. That was pretty good. I think that might have been the first thing I saw him on. And the second was Chrononauts. That was written by Mark Miller, the guy who wrote Civil War. And that one deals with time travel. All right. So I'm going to Marvel now. I got What If Captain America. This is written by Mark Guggenheim, with art by Ron Lim. So this is basically what if Captain America was revived in 2099. All right. Captain America's time during World War II ended with him frozen in ice, out of commission for decades. But in 616, he was revived and joined with fellow heroes, the Avengers. But what if he missed the heroic age altogether? What evils would rise without the Sentinel of Liberty? Find out in this action-packed epic from Mark Guggenheim and X-Men 2099 legend Ron Lin. That comes out on August 5th. It is $4.99. No page count for Marvel. All right. What If Runaways? Written by Rainbow Rowell. Is it Rowell or Rowell? I don't know. I gotta tweet her and find out. With art by Zulema Scotto Lavinia. So, what if the Runaways hadn't run away? Every year, a group of philanthropists gather for a charitable fundraiser so their children, Alex Wilder, Chase Stein, Gertrude Yorks, Carolina Dean, Molly Hayes, and Nico Mororo thought. When they discover their parents formed the Pride, a sinister sacrificial group that answers to a godly race called the Gibberin. Their teens are terrified, shocked, and intrigued. Their destiny awaits, and there's no running away. That will be out on August 19th, and that one is $4.99. All right. What If X-Men? This is written by Ashley Allen, but art by Sumit Kumar. What if Cassandra Nova killed Professor X? You should know by now, by watching Deadpool and Wolverine, Cassandra Nova is the twin sister of Charles Xavier. So, in a world where Cassandra Nova killed Charles Xavier in the womb, telepaths are haunted and experimented on, and what she's making from them is far worse than what she's taking. But telepaths Jean Grey and Emma Frost escape. Cassandra Nova will stop at nothing to bring them back. Bring on Cassandra's X-Men. So that goes on sale on August 26th. All right. I also have a relaunch for Miles Morales. Pulling up the description of it now. This is written by Brian Hill with art by Nico Leone and Val DeLandro. So 32 pages, no release date on this one. It says the next era of Miles Morales Spider-Man starts now. Miles Morales is back in the red and black. Spider-Man thinks he has it all handled. Homework, supervillains, a new school crush. No, Miles is focused on what matters, helping the good folks of Brooklyn, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and at its best. But a vengeful villain from Jeff Morales' past, with S.H.I.E.L.D. threatens to destroy not only Spider-Man, but the entire Morales family. Can't wait to check that out. I like Nico Leone's art, so I will be adding that to my pull list. I don't have the exact release date because for some reason they never put it on there. Supergirl is coming out, the end of July, mid-July? I can't remember the date, but we got 2 clips from that movie. One gave me kind of Star Wars New Hope vibes with Kara in a bar, basically arm wrestling for information. The only difference is she broke the guy's arm as opposed to slicing it off, and a big bar fight brawls out, which I'm like, okay, cool. I really got to read Woman of Tomorrow. And we got the first introduction of Kara landing on Earth with, little puppy Crypto, speaking Kryptonese to Clark, and he's like, yeah, I don't speak that, so I really can't communicate with you. And that was like a nice warm scene. Like, that's how Superman should be. I don't really know like how Henry Cavill Superman would have dealt with that. But can't wait to see Supergirl this summer. All right, I'm going to end with some video game news. Marvel 1943, The Rise of Hydra, has been delayed again, and it will not be released until 2027. And we have got no gameplay footage for this game whatsoever. Amy Hennig, who is basically the director of this game, she worked on The Last of Us and Uncharted, said that, it's playable. She's got it on her hard drive so she can play through the build. They're continuing development on it. And, I don't know what's taking so long. I don't know if it was because of the Paramount Skydance merger or whatever, becoming Skydance New Media or Paramount Gaming that's holding it up. But this game was announced 2 years ago. Like I said, still no gameplay footage. At this point, this is what I mean when I say don't show me nothing that's not almost done. Because make this make sense. 2024, we got the reveal of this at the game showcase. But I don't know. Hopefully it's good, because I think the Iron Man game is dead. The Wonder Woman game is dead. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm over it, really. All right. Summer Games Fest. It's going on this weekend. I'm pretty much going to cover the games that were announced. Like everything else is kind of like side stuff. So one of the things that they announced, I don't know if I'm going to buy it. Resident Evil Veronica is a remake of Resident Evil Code Veronica. So this new version will take players through a reimagined version of the original that plays very similar to like Resident Evil. But 5, 6, 7, 8, and Requiem. So I don't know what all they're going to be changing as far as story goes, because they didn't say. But it will be out sometime in 2027 for Xbox, Series XS, PC, and the PS5. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin is still confirmed to be in development, unlike the movie, but no release date on that. They showed like it's a teaser, so they didn't really show anything. So I saw that and I was like, okay, cool. Star Wars Galactic Racer. Don't know how I feel about that one. It kind of reminds me of Star Wars Pod Racing that came out back in the day for like the PS1. So I might get it, but they did just announce that Watto was going to be a playable character. There's also a new Star Wars game that I have no interest in whatsoever, and that is Star Wars Zero Company. And this is basically going to play like XCOM and Midnight Suns, which turn-based card games, so on and so forth. So yeah, that'll be out on August 27th. Galactic Racer will be out on October 6th. And both of those will be released on all systems and PC. For you fans of the Saw franchise, there's going to be a Saw game coming out called Saw Genesis. And this is a prequel which is set in the aftermath of World War I and lets players inhabit the role of the judge who is Jigsaw's predecessor. So I'm just like, okay, go off. Street Fighter 6 has got a year 4 update with new characters. So Yasmin and Arjun will be joining this summer, and Bosch will be in for spring next year. And apparently Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Remake, so Final Fantasy period, Tifa Lockhart, will also be joining sometime in early 2027. And finally, the last thing that caught my eye, Final Fantasy VII Revelation is the final installment in the remake trilogy. So we got Remake, Rebirth, and Revelation. I owe my friend Shane $10 because I said, 3 years ago, whenever Rebirth came out, it was going to be called Reunion because Sephiroth said Reunion like 58 million times, and Reunion is a very recycled word if you go back and watch Final Fantasy Advent Children. So I really thought it was going to be a reunion, but no. But it will be released on all systems, so no time release for PlayStation this time around, in spring of 2027. So yeah, that's it. I ain't got no more talking to do, guys. Hopefully this episode works, because I am not recording this again. I'm actually going to stop this when I'm done with this rant, check the audio levels, and hopefully I am pleased. So that was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg, use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. One more thing, it is not a number 1, but it's possibly a collector's item when it drops on August 5th. So this is Batman issue 12. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the rumors swirling around. This solicit confirms it. Batman is getting a new butler, so Alfred posthumously put in somebody to take his place if he ever dies. So Bruce is getting a hot blonde butler. So I don't know how far it's gonna go as her knowing that he's Batman and whatnot, because I don't know. We'll find out. But Batman is on my pull list, so pick that up. You can order it on Midtown when it comes out. But yeah, guys, peace out.